Members on the line, if you have questions for the coaches here this morning, just use the chat feature or raise your hand icons. Now, pleased to be joined on the call by the head coach at Campbell, Braxton Harris. Good morning, Braxton.
Hey, Rob, how are you?
I'm good. I hope you are well as well. The bye week, but hopefully you had a chance to recharge a little bit. How did you and your team make use of it?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, getting that in the week 10 is always a challenge in that spot. And, the reality is usually bye weeks, it depends on where you're at in the season. For us, we're in the latter half of the season. And so we used it for a lot of recovery. We've had a lot of guys that have been playing through injuries, and just like everybody in the country, you got guys that are not at 100%, that are doing everything you're asking them to do, and we really use that as a time to get them healed up. We practiced yesterday, kind of for the first padded practice last week, yesterday, and so just try to get those guys healed up and healthy. And it was fun to see him out there yesterday. Had some fresh legs. Had some new, outlook on some things when you get a time to step away. I thought it was really good for our kids. I thought it was good for their mental health. I thought it was good for their physical health as well.
Who are are there some guys that were starters for you early in the year that maybe have been out that you feel like you're going to get back?
Yeah, a lot of it will depend on this week and how they transition to truly football practice, right? We practiced once on Wednesday and then Sunday. And so those weren't really full tilt practices like a Tuesday practice that'll come up. And so a lot of it will depend on, how they handle a Tuesday practice. And hopefully we can get some of those pieces back. But even more than getting pieces back, I think it's more important that you see the guys that have been playing through stuff, that they're able to be, that have been grinding it out through games, that they're going to be fresher. They're going to be able to play at a different speed. That's what we're excited about this week.
Dive into your team a little bit and start on the offensive side of the ball, where there certainly have been a lot of positive things to look at, a lot of new faces over there that have developed over the year. Just kind of give me your sense on what's gone well for you offensively and what you'd like to see get a little better down this final 3 weeks.
Yeah, you look at, if you take the conference games we played in, and now everybody's kind of played an equal amount of conference games. Offensively, I think total offense, as far as points scored, I think we're about 6th in the CAA, compared to where we were last year. That's a big jump for us at this time of the season, with 3 games to be able to continue to be able to go play. And so there's a lot of excitement with that group. I still think that group is learning how to come together. You look at, I think offensively, we've had more guys out than defensively that we've had. And that's kind of hindered some of our progress. I feel like just the continuity, whether it's on the offensive line, whether it's with the receivers or even the quarterback position or running back position. And we've had injuries in all those spots that I think it's kind of held us back in some of the development that we would like to be at this point in time. And so that's what we're excited about these next 3 weeks. We feel like we get 3 weeks to go compete and put it together. We think we have really, really good guys across the board. We just need the continuity with that. We think Cam's playing really well at quarterback for us. We think he's going to continue to develop. Before his injury, he was in the top 20 in the country as far as throwing the football. Being able to continue to be able to develop that with the running game, I think it's going to be important for us to be able to move forward these last 3 weeks. And we got a lot to play for in these last 3 weeks. We're trying to build a program. And so a program is not just a team that's together. And that's what we've kind of talked to this group about is, man, how are we going to be able to push this thing forward? And offensively, that's a big part of it for us.
When you bring in a new quarterback, just in your experience in general, how long does it take to get where you feel like you're comfortable and on the same page with those skill guys?
Yeah, I'm 100% comfortable with Cam Sixkiller as our quarterback. I feel like we're in a great position with him. I believe who he is as a person and his IQ and his ability, he's everything we want in a quarterback. And that's the most exciting thing. I mean, you look at a team like Monmouth in our league. Last year they were a 6-6 football team. They were able to bring a quarterback back, and now look what they're able to go do. At Campbell, we haven't brought a quarterback back for consecutive years in a long time in that. And so the excitement that we can continue to be in the comfortability, we have 100% comfortability in him at quarterback in that spot. We just got to be able to continue to get those pieces around him comfortable and consistent with each other more than anything.
Sort of the same questions on defense. Been kind of a mix of returnees and new faces for you this year. How has that group developed, and what would you like to see improve over the last stretch?
Yeah, you look at them, that group's been fairly healthy, knock on wood. for that group, and you can see the difference in how much they've gotten better each and every week. Again, you look at total yards given up. I think in conference we're second in the CAA play as far as yards given up in a game per game, and that's why. And so you see how they've gotten better and better. I think it starts up front. I think our defensive line's played really well, playing really well, and playing very consistent, which allows everybody else to be able to continue to be able to. The thing that we would like to get better at is we'd like to continue to improve our pass defense these last 3 weeks. We think if we continue to be able to do that with the way that we've been able to stop the run, and let's be honest, these last 3 weeks is not going to be easy to stop the run either. These are really good football teams coming down the stretch. These are 3 that we call blue bloods in the CAA, and so we're going to have our hands full. Can we continue the areas on defense that we've been successful at? Can we continue to be successful with those things? And can we get better at some of the areas that we want to get better at in the pass defense?
Let's take a look at your opponent this week, William & Mary, a team that's 5-4 coming off a win on Saturday. As you've had a little extra chance to look at them, what impresses you?
Yes, I mean that's who they are, right? I mean, they're 5-0 at home. They're at a place. I think that they gotta believe that they've got an opportunity with. I think they're 4-2 in CAA play right now. And so the 2 losses is where they're at. That's kind of the rule of thumb in the CAA. You can't have more than 2 conference losses to have a chance. And so Coach London over there is telling his guys right now that, hey, we got 2 more CAA football games. We got to end 6-2 in CAA plays to give ourselves a chance to make the playoffs. And so they're playing for a lot over there, and that's a program that's a consistent winner in that spot. And so those kids are going to believe that they can. So one of the biggest things that we have to overcome is their mindset as a program, and we've got to match their mindset of the belief that we can win in those opportunities, right? You look on the football field, the quarterback, he's the one that makes it go. I mean, he's dynamic. I feel like I say the same thing every week in the CAA, but it's true. There's a lot of really good football players, and quarterback is the key. He does it with his arm and his legs. I mean, he's the second leading rusher on the team, him alone in that spot. And so we've got to be able to limit his opportunities and be able to kind of confuse him on some of the passing opportunities. They're a typical William & Mary team. They're going to run the football, and they're going to be successful. They're going to run outside zone. That's their bread and butter. It has been their bread and butter for years. They do it as good as anybody in the country. And so we got to be able to, a big challenge, can we match our front that we think we've had success at and gotten better at? Can we match it with a really good William & Mary team in that? And then on the defensive side, they're going to man you up. They're going to play man coverage and mix it up with some cover 3 stuff. And we've got to be able to, they're going to maximize the box. And we got to be able to throw and catch on the outside to be able to lighten those things up. And so, and then you take on all that, you look at all the special teams plays they made. I mean, this last week, I think they blocked 3 punts. Just phenomenal special teams play. And that's a sign of good football teams. And that's what we got to be able to go do. And what a great opportunity for us after losing a football game because we felt like special teams didn't get it done. We get a chance to go do it and go compete against one of the best in the conferences.
When you see something like that happen, it's interesting you say that with the 3 blocks. Does that change preparation at all? Or does that all of a sudden catch your attention on film and say, oh, this is something we got to work on maybe more than usual?
Well, it's one of those things as a head coach. I coach the punt unit, so there ain't nobody to blame but me if it doesn't work out. But let me tell you, I take as much time as I need, and we're not going to rush out of that period of practice. So I control the clock during punt period, and so that's the good thing. But yeah, but the reality, Rob, it's every week. Every week in the CAA, and I just heard Coach talk about it. Man, every week is a challenge. This is really well coached football teams, special teams is a place that we've got to take advantage of. And we got to be able to find a way to win. And that's one of the areas I think we've kind of fallen short this season. And we got to be able to go finish on a high note. But yeah, does it make you pay attention? Yeah, it makes you pay attention real quick. And so let me tell you this, tomorrow we have our team meeting. Those will be the first punt clips we show, those 3 right there out the gate. And so everybody will get their attention real quick.
All right, Braxton, thanks so much for your time this morning. And I look forward to talking again next Monday.
Thanks, Rob.
Thank you. Again, for media members on the line, if you have questions here this morning for any of the coaches, just use the chat feature or the raise your hand icon. We're now pleased to be joined on the call by the head coach at Maine, Jordan Stevens. Good morning, Jordan.
Good morning, Rob.
Good morning. Congratulations again. 5 in a row now for the Black Bears. A really good win